Ah, yes, Parasite Eve. Some people talk about how this is Squaresoft's answer to Capcom's Resident Evil, but I'm not fully convinced that's what they were going for here. Sure, you got some elements like body horror and monsters that are on the grotesque side of things, but there isn't really a sense of unease or danger or, oh my god, I only have 4 handgun rounds left and I can't see what's around the corner. My cousin, whom I mentioned in my first video, loves Parasite Eve's sequel. I remember watching him play a lot of Parasite Eve 2 when we were younger, but we'll be talking about that in the next video. And yes, Parasite Eve 2 is the next video. My first experience playing the first game, well, it wasn't the best. Don't get me wrong, I liked the game. In fact, I was enjoying the crap out of it the first time I played it. I asked my cousin to borrow it for a day or two, and while I was getting a ride back to my house, my memory card that I brought with me somehow slipped out of my bag and somewhere into the depths of my aunt's car, and I didn't realize it until I was inside settling in. It was a total bummer because all I wanted to do was play that game when I got home. I mean, I still could. And that's exactly what I did. Surprisingly, I had gotten to day 3 without dying, but it was sometime after I reached the destroyed police station when my luck ran out. I didn't play it again until about 10 years later, and didn't commit to actually getting all the way through it. Until now. Welcome to the PS1 Quest of the West. I'm beating and ranking all 1,278 PS1 games released here in North America. I play all of the games live on Twitch, so if you're into that sort of thing, check me out over there. And if you enjoy this video, consider giving me a like and hitting that subscribe button. There's obviously going to be plenty more content to come. The game is set in the city of New York! And it's Christmas time. We're introduced to our main protagonist, Aya Brea, or whatever you want to call her, and she's a police officer at the NYPD. It's date night at the opera, but we didn't really want to go, so we're hightailing it out of here. Bye! But we did come in a limo, so we change our mind and we head inside. We begin watching the dramatic scene, and when I say dramatic, I mean dramatic. In fact, it's so dramatic that the other actors and people in the audience can't help but to feel the fiery passion from the lead actress as they literally burst into flames. And you know what? I think they might have went a little bit overboard getting so involved. Some flee the auditorium, some are burnt to a crisp, but our girl Aya here isn't one to back down. In fact, she's facing the problem head on. The woman on stage is obviously unhinged as she spouts out utter nonsense. Aya is feeling the heat as we learn the controls and how battling works. It's kind of like the Final Fantasies at the time where you have to wait for a bar to fill up to take action, but also features movement. The actress is under the impression that Aya should know her, and Aya gets a flashback of a hospital room. Our actress, Eve, exits stage right just as the coppers are showing up. She greets them outside and lets them know that she's one of them. We go back inside, jump down a hole that's probably not supposed to be there, and run into a ghost girl, which, sure, that's normal. Going into the next area, we are met with several locked doors, and, oh, what's that noise? Just a rat, kind of like the ones that I used to see at Jack in the Box. We make quick work of the abomination, open several lockers, and somehow there's a person still barely alive on the ground. And then she dies. In another room, we simultaneously scare and get scared by a clown that has no idea what just happened. He says he's not going to die tonight, but meets his demise literally 3 seconds later. We search around, opening more lockers and cabinets, defeat some monsters, and somehow I'm already stuck? I run around this whole area for nearly 10 minutes, back to the auditorium, back outside. I literally don't know what to do. And just as a quick note, something that I haven't really mentioned before in any of my videos so far is that I am mostly not trying to use a walkthrough for any of these games, if I can help it. But if I feel like I've went everywhere and tried everything to the best of my knowledge and still can't make progress, I will look up the next thing to do just to keep the stream going. And in this case, it was super frustrating after I found out what I had missed. Another key? How did I fucking miss that? I knew there was significance with that screen. It's just that it's so fickle where you have to examine things. After reading about the actress's drug addiction, we find Melissa playing a piano behind a locked door. Sorry, but the concert's over. And after having some hot flashes, she transforms back into Eve. After a brief boss battle, Eve talks about mitochondria, and we have another flashback, this time with a doctor observing a little girl. We jump down another hole, see the ghost girl from the flashback, fight through the small sewer area, encounter Eve again with some more mitochondria talk, and we get this fun and creepy animation afterward, which then leads into another boss fight. We make quick work of Leon Kennedy's worst nightmare. Holy shit! And Aya really doesn't have any idea of what just happened. Off screen, she climbs back up into the building and out to the front, where she's already making headlines. Daniel, another cop from the station, makes some small talk with Aya as they drive away from the incident, and we are now on to day 2. At the police station, Daniel gives us a lowdown on Melissa as I have a stroke while trying to read the dialogue.
She was sick often, always. She was sick often. I cannot put together a sentence to save my life right now. So, what's this spontaneous combustion? Spontaneous combustion? Wow, what the fuck? I cannot read.
After we gear up, we meet a little boy named Ben, who turns out to be Daniel's son. He gets pissed because Daddy's gotta work, and he storms out of the building. The captain wants to see us and informs us that there will be a press conference, and Aya will be on the old boob tube as the sole survivor of the incident. Which is a bit misleading if you ask me. I mean, it seems as if some of the people were able to escape. Even the cop outside said that everyone was burned, and a lot of them won't make it, but that implies some of them will. He also doesn't want Aya to say a single word about the incident. But, as a true, likable protagonist, she goes against the grain and speaks the truth when directly addressed. The captain gets pissed, but receives a phone call from a scientist that saw the conference and wants to come to the station, but we instead follow a lead from Nix about a researcher at the museum. Daniel and Aya make their way there, and while inside, Aya gets hit on by the security guard.
Just my name? Yep, that should be enough, unless you want to leave your number, too. Wow, smooth.
They make their way up to see the researcher, Dr. Clamp. Aya has another flashback, which implies he's the mysterious doctor. We get a lot of info about the mitochondria, how it supposedly operates, and how the root of all humans was traced back to a woman in Africa. And the whole theory about her and mitochondrial mutation was dubbed Mitochondria Eve. Aya is startled to hear that name considering the quote-unquote suspect calls herself Eve, and as soon as she mentions that, it's like Dr. Clamp comes to some sort of realization and dismisses them. Daniel is hauling ass driving back to the station after getting a tip in the case. Come to find out, Melissa had a solo concert scheduled at Central Park, and even though it was canceled, apparently a lot of dumbass people are still going, and guess who's got tickets? Ben and Daniel's ex-wife Lorraine. I get a thank you for my service as a police officer, and then nearly get killed as we exit the police station. Daniel feels the burn as we approach our destination. Aya tells Daniel to stay behind, and then we wander around fighting several enemies, looking everywhere, trying to figure out where to go. Sound familiar? It was quite a bit more frustrating here because this is a much bigger area than the theater we were in earlier. I looked around for just over 20 minutes until I gave up and looked at a walkthrough.
Examine the drawer next to the computer to find the zoo key. I could swear that I clicked on it a few different times and it didn't do anything.
Now, I guess technically it's possible I didn't specifically click on it, but even when I knew exactly where it was, it still took a few button presses and the right positioning to actually open the drawer.
And that's what I needed. That's what I needed this entire time. I should have...
We get to the theater, but it's already too late. Eve is on stage in front of the crowd. After some rambling, she turns everyone into silly putty. We try to confront her, but she just casually floats away. Eventually, we do find her on a carriage, and I guess at some point she played Pokemon because she turns the horse into a Rapidash and a boss battle is started. After fighting for a bit, she tries to get fresh with us, but then the horse decides it's our time and sends the carriage spiraling into a guardrail of sorts. That knocks another flashback into us, but it's more or less what we've already seen. We cut to Daniel, who's trying to get a hold of Aya, and after what just happened, amazingly, Ben is alive. It almost seems as if Ben might have some kind of mitochondrial guard himself, because he said his mom and everyone else in the park was acting strange, but he only felt sick. So either that, or he has plot armor being a kid? The cops finally get their shit together and evacuate Manhattan. Daniel leaves to go and look for Aya, while Kathy takes Ben to see Shiva the dog. We get a pretty accurate depiction of how drivers are in, well, pretty much all of America at any given time. Cut to the next scene, and we see a Japanese guy trying to communicate with some officers to get past the blockade. Officer A is literally a racist, and, well, let's just say he gets his. Maeda seizes the opportunity to get through. Aya wakes up after another flashback, and now we are in a makeshift shelter of sorts. Daniel shows up, and Maeda explains that a whole other incident happened in Japan, and a scientist did some sciencey stuff to try to keep his wife alive. Organs were donated, things mutated, and Eve tried to give birth to an ultimate being. Aya thinks it might be possible that she's like Eve and is afraid to let them be around. She has some thoughts to herself talking about her mom and Maya, which is presumably her sister, being in a car accident when she was younger, and when Aya touched Eve, it felt like her sister, somehow. We're all rested up now and decide to leave this frickin' dump. And apparently Maeda slept outside? It's the middle of winter in New York. Okay. We ransack a couple of shops, do a little bit of grinding and inventory things, and finally get back on track by going to the museum to do some lab work. We get some more science insight about Eve and how much power she might have versus how Aya stacks up. We find out, well, we don't find out much, other than Aya's cells are freaking goated against whatever the hell Eve is trying to do, and that's when Professor Clamp walks in. He's pissed, but his mood changes to curiosity once he discovers the cells and starts questioning Aya. Just then, Daniel discovers some pretty incriminating evidence on the computer, including his ex-wife's and son's names, but we don't get an explanation as to why. As we drive back to the station, we learn our golden retriever-coded third wheel managed to get a look at the computer himself, and the list of names has something to do with organ transplants. The police department is absolutely trashed when we get back, and Aya thinks she can feel Eve's presence. Daniel didn't learn his lesson from earlier and takes off running blindly into the station. Maeda gives us a good luck charm. Great. Nearly everyone is dead here, but no spontaneous combustion, no bubbly goop. Everyone, for whatever reason, is still in one piece here. Kathy the dog woman tells us Shiva the dog went crazy and Ben is missing. While running through the station, the captain finds Ben first, temporarily saving him from this. We make quick work of the poor doggo, and luckily both Ben and the captain make it out alive. After the incident, the group comes to the conclusion that what happened here was just a distraction from something bigger. Eve is most likely looking to do what she did in Japan, create the ultimate being through artificial insemination. Let's go. In the car, Aya and Maeda are on their way to the hospital. Aya asks him exactly what happened in Japan, and he gives us spoilers of the ending to the novel Parasite Eve. God damn it, I really wanted to read it myself. That bastard. We get to the hospital and Maeda gives us yet another useless good luck charm. Eve antagonizes us by first cutting the cables to the elevator while we're in it, then cutting the power so certain doors don't work. It's all good, we'll just take the stairs to get back to... Oh, well that's just peachy now, isn't it? We run around the hospital for quite a while, but not nearly as long as previous times looking for the key to progress. I bet you was right here. Ah, ha, ha! Ah, stupid desks. Surprisingly, I'm able to find the next item, the blue key card, without any troubles. I find the 3 fuses along the way because they're conveniently sparkling, unlike every other key item that we've found so far. We get things running again, go back to the main hall where a previously locked door is open now. We walk inside to find a couple of survivors and learn there's a nurse trapped in a different room. On our way to save her, we realize this is the room and the hospital that Aya's been seeing in her visions. We find the nurse and she gives us the key card to the storage room, a room that houses liquid nitrogen that keeps the sperm bank safe. We head up that way and find some more intriguing medical records there. We cut to the military doing military things, back to Aya, we're up on the rooftop fighting a spider monster, and, also Eva's up here. Eve does some hocus pocus, turning one of the jet pilots into goop, sending them into another one of the jets, which is heading towards the rooftop. I am clueless about where I'm supposed to be going exactly, and I originally think I'm fine because there's an FMV, but after it ends, I realize that, nope.
Oh, okay. Oh. I thought it was fine.
I quickly look up exactly where to go just in case I fail again, because I really did not want to have to go through the boss fight and cutscene a third time. We have an enemy encounter on our way down from the top of the building, and Daniel and Maida are there to greet us. Daniel had been doing some research and found out that Melissa had been visiting Dr. Clamp at the museum. Back at the station, I'm asked if I have guns IRL.
I don't. I do not. I have shotguns before. Oh, it was target practice. I went into a shooting range. It was fun. It was interesting.
And then I get asked a more philosophical question. So, logic tells me to immediately go check out the museum, because that's where Clamp has been this entire time. But I guess instead we're supposed to check out the newest area on the map. We find Maida there and...
Yes, wait, here, take this. Another good luck charm. Do these even do anything?
We make our way through the sewer area, getting supersonic to death by Zubats along the way, and we find out where all the goop went from Central Park. Our goal here is to try and stop it before it contaminates the entire city, but it backfires spectacularly. We travel through a subway, and I have a little bit of a problem with the next boss. Nothing a little grinding can't fix. We beat the boss, get the gate key, and before we get to disc 2, we run into a bit of a problem. At the beginning of my quest, I didn't own a working console to play the games on. Up until this point, I was using the CD drive on my computer with the physical discs I had, as well as an emulator that could run the game from the drive. Unfortunately, the program I was using bugged out when the disc change came along and started making the disc spin out of control, and ever since then, the CD drive just stopped working altogether. That kind of threw a wrench into all of my plans to play every game I owned first. So, a few days pass, I'm pretty upset over the whole ordeal, so I start my next stream up after having a bit to drink, and I get back to playing the game. Kind of.
I'm old. I'm so old. Old and decrepit. Washed up. That makes me look fat. Ugh, makes me look chunky, doesn't it? That's not good. I don't like that.
Oh boy. Oh god. So, after grinding a bit on one stream and finding out I forgot to save on the next one, 3 games of Resident Evil Outbreak, and chatting with some people, and finally, we get back on track and beat the
giant enemy crab
3 streams later. I then come to the realization that what I just fought was completely optional, but I'm not too upset over it. I finally get to where I need to be. We see Clamp and make our way through the museum while being asked some very important need-to-know-now kind of questions.
Do you feel annoyed with Mother Nature? Sure, why not? Do you wish... No, hell no. What do you think about the disproportionate crime rates between crimes?
We reach Clamp's office, but we see Maida instead. He tells us exactly what Clamp was doing with his research, which is nothing good. Clamp interrupts and tries to take Aya out, but Daniel is here to save the day. Clamp eventually becomes conscious and tells the group about his master plan for Eve to birth the ultimate being and how he's already pulled it off. He then tries to contact Eve to take everyone out, but ends up just killing himself. We get a key off of his flaming hot body, then continue going through the rest of the museum, and come on to a very disturbing scene. Eve tells everything else to shut the hell up so she can have some words with Aya, and then she summons a big blob monster to carry her away. In the car, we find out exactly what happened at the hospital way back in the day. At the same time, the Navy has now received permission to go all out on the literal shit show that's happening in the city. The crew is brought by heli to talk with the people in charge. Aya is asked to get in the chopper to fire a weapon at the monstrosity since she's the only one who can do it. And of course, without hesitation, she's up for the task. What she's not up for, though, is others risking their lives to make sure she gets there, but it's too late for that now. All of the other choppers that are sent in at the same time as hers are destroyed. She then throws herself the smallest, shortest pity party I've ever seen, but she gets over it pretty quickly and she fires the weapon. With the goop monster destroyed, Aya jumps out of the helicopter to confront Eve directly. She pulls the old "humans suck and are inferior," but she doesn't know what she's getting herself into. She melts, the day is saved, and never mind. This thing has 4 forms, 5 forms if you count the slithery thing that chases you throughout the boat, which, by the way, will insta-kill you if it catches up with you. Aya uses her quick thinking, raising the boiler pressure, which will basically make the ship self-destruct. The day is saved, everyone goes to see the same goddamn play in the same goddamn theater, and all is good in the hood. Or is it? The ending kinda wigged me out a little bit. It was kind of ambiguous, like, are all of their eyes lighting up because another incident is about to happen? Are they lighting up to kind of just symbolize that the mitochondria that lives in everyone is still a threat? I don't know. It's definitely up to interpretation. After you beat the game, there's what's basically a New Game Plus mode with weapons and items that you've had from the previous playthrough, as well as the extremely challenging Chrysler building. You get to the top of that, and apparently there's the true ending. And that was Parasite Eve. I had a lot of fun with this game, and I would say it's not anywhere close to a survival horror. There's an active time-based battle system. There's more of a focus on leveling up, whether it be your equipment or your stats. It's closer to a Final Fantasy game with a modern-day setting, rather than any survival horror title. It has just enough to set itself apart from a typical JRPG experience, but nothing really close to making it feel like an action-adventure. The game mechanics are solid, the graphics such as the pre-rendered backgrounds still look great in my opinion, and since the art style isn't going for super proportionate characters, the FMVs ain't looking half bad either. Overall, the game has aged gracefully. For an RPG, it might be shorter than what you're used to, but game length, no matter what genre it is, you know someone is going to complain about it. My biggest issue, by far, and I'm sure you know what's coming, are these goddamn frickin' drawers. It's stupid, but I just can't get over how fussy they were. So, where am I putting Parasite Eve on the board? Well, even though Threads of Fate holds a very special place in my heart, I'm gonna go ahead and place Parasite Eve in the number 3 spot. Parasite Eve is a great game, and I actually wouldn't mind coming back to it here in the near future, especially considering I haven't beaten the Chrysler building. But what are your thoughts? Would you consider this game beaten? Let me know what you think and how you feel about the game. Thanks for watching, and I hope you will accompany me on the next part of my quest.